Hi everyone, welcome to the Processing Playground. This is a place where I do these videos because I want to talk about rinsing and processing. As long as we're human beings, we make mistakes, we screw up, and the thing is, that's human. But we have to learn how to rinse and process these things because if they don't, or if we don't, they get stuck somewhere in our body and it can create all kinds of destructive thoughts, feelings, projections, blame. And what's going on in the world right now, is a lot of change. There are things going on that we never thought would happen. And there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of arguing, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of rage. And the world is a collective understanding of our own internal misunderstandings. And for all of us, and that's why I love this t-shirt, it says, I speak yoga. And it's a great organization called Hanu Yoga. And it's how do we speak up? Yoga, like as a teacher, it's not so much about doing the poses, but it's really how do we speak to ourselves? What is the inner dialogue? How do we communicate? And one thing that I think is very real and very true for many people is there's a lot of negative thoughts and feelings going on directed towards ourselves. So if we want to go out and change the world and be leaders, we have to really look at what we're not willing to change so that we can shift it, we can grow, we can heal it, we can understand it, and that we don't look at each other as these separate entities that are an opposite of you and, that we argue and that we fight, rather than we may disagree, but how do we find the common denominator that is really going to bond us, connect us, so that we can create a dialogue that will allow us to shift and change and evolve together. This is an exciting time to be alive because we are expanding. And with expansion and with growth is struggle. So I'm asking you, where do you hold your negative thoughts? Where is your, I call them crazy voices, doesn't mean we're crazy. We all have crazy voices that don't make sense. The thing is we have to give them worth. They are not the truth, but they feel very real and they feel very true. And if we don't start dialoguing within ourselves and doing our inner work, we're just going to hold that somewhere, and that energy has got to go out. So we'll project, we'll blame, we'll judge, we'll be racist, and this is where we have to start really getting honest. All of us, where do we hold that? How do we heal it? How do we rinse and process it through our body so we don't hold onto the trauma and create more resistance? That we actually are able to build that inner strength, that inner muscle. And when we do that, we're able to move forward. This yoga is a practice of being present, to being in the here and now. And if we're not willing to look at the past and understand our history, how are we going to move forward and really honestly step into the unknown, step into the unfamiliar and trust? So I hope that this dialogue is really meant to go out to not only you, to everyone, to myself. How do we want to elevate and move towards this next chapter, this next part of history of change? Are you willing to look at where you hold your inner struggles, your negative thinking, to understand it, not shut it down, to understand it and change it? So then it brings this deep muscle of empathy so that we can see others as they are and we can hold the space. I can feel me and do my inner work. You can feel you and do your inner work. I do not have to change you. I do not have to force you, but we can communicate. So it all starts within, so that we go out and we speak our truth because we're willing to speak inside sometimes those unspeakable, uncomfortable truths and love them and hold them and heal them and move forward. So I hope you found this helpful. Happy processing. Thank you. Namaste.